Hello, everyone. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Dee, and this is Dee's Bookish Musings. This is where I'm sharing my love for reading at my own pace. Welcome back. If you are returning, thanks so much for coming back again to check me out. And if you are new here, I do welcome you. I do read a variety of genres, so I really do hope that you decide to stay, subscribe, engage in the comments. I always love to read comments from my viewers. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video. So I'm going to preface this video and say that I'm having some problems with my iPhone storage being low. And y'all, I refuse to pay $2,000 for a new phone, okay? So I'm working on figuring out a way that I can vlog, because I really do enjoy doing vlogs because you get to see more than just books. I like to share more than just books. I like to share my lifestyle just a little bit. Right now I'm on a fitness journey, so I've been enjoying sharing that. And unfortunately, I won't be able to do vlogs until I figure out what's going on, or how I can record. Okay, so right now I am recording from my laptop, so I do apologize if the quality isn't as great. Please forgive me for that while I figure things out. Also, I'm doing this video off the cuff. I am experimenting with a new editing software online, so I don't know how that's gonna go because yeah, I've never used it before. I have to watch a tutorial. So yeah, you're getting me live as I feel things, okay, right here and right now as I'm recording this video. All right, so what I'm going to be talking about in this video, I just gave you a channel update. Also, another channel update is that I am going through some things. If you watch my previous videos, you know my mom is still sick, I do ask for prayers, okay? But because of all of that, I'm having to travel a lot and I haven't really been feeling the best, so I may be taking a break. I asked myself today, I was like, well, maybe your camera broke because you're not supposed to be making these videos. Maybe God wants you to stop making these videos. I don't know. So we got to figure some things out. I really do enjoy making videos and coming on here talking about something like books and also motivating like my fitness journey. I really enjoy that. But right now I may have to take a break because number one, I don't have really a way to record videos. I'm recording on my not my camera, but my laptop, and it's really not ideal. And yeah, I'm going through some things. It's just been kind of challenging, keeping up with things. But I'm still reading, y'all. I'm still reading because that does really help my mental. All right, so that is out of the way. If I do disappear, just know that I do plan on coming back. I've just been questioning some things. But I do, as of right now, plan on coming back. I just may need some time to figure things out. My camera situation and just, what I'm going through right now. All right, so let's talk about some books. All right, so I'm going to tell you what I have finished reading, what I am currently reading, and my upcoming future reads. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the books that I have finished. All right, so this first book I have been reading for about a month, and yes, it is Kennedy Ryan's Before I Let Go. This is my first Kennedy Ryan, y'all, and so while I was reading this book, I did some research because I like to do that with new authors. And so I got to know from the interview the type of author she is. She seems very passionate. I really love that about her. And she really writes from the heart, right? She really puts time and effort into her work. Now, having said that, I want to bring up something that I've noticed. I have noticed that because she's a beloved author, some people may not feel comfortable criticizing her work or saying that they don't like a book. And let's just say you're never going to get that from me because while I do appreciate and understand the authors put a lot of time in their work and effort, put a lot of time and effort into their work, they're also writing for the reader, right? We are the target audience, and everything's up for criticism, especially if it's constructive criticism. So I'm always going to tell the truth, whether the author is beloved or not. I'm always going to just tell the truth of whether I like the book or not. And so let's get into how I felt about this book. So I've been reading it for a month. I did enjoy a lot of the themes in the book. Based on the author's note, this was based on true facts. So it may be, partially true, or she took excerpts from people's lives and put it into a book, okay? And I felt the realness of Josiah and Yasmin. So if you don't know, which you probably do, I'm the last one who's not read this book. Don't look at my nails, y'all. I've been going through, okay? Yeah, they need to be done. But we're not here for that, okay? And you are going to overlook that. Anyway, so this follows Yasmin and Josiah. They are newly divorced, about 2 years in. There's some complex themes or situations this couple has going on. Being that they're co-parenting, they do have 2 kids and school-age kids, and they're running a restaurant that they started when they were married. So they've been together for a long time. I want to say since college. And so I really like the fact that the relationship dynamics are very nuanced, very complex, right? That makes for a very interesting story. I also like the fact that the characters or the situation felt real, because I went into it knowing that this was, based on, or partially based on, a real events, real story, or excerpts taken from real things that actually happened. They go through, Josiah and Yasmin, they go through a loss as well. So it deals with mental health, depression, and how that can affect a marriage, as well as losing a child. And that is ultimately what ended their relationship. Yasmin, this is going to be a spoilery section about this book, because again, I'm the only one who has not or just read this book. Yasmin ends up asking for the divorce, which is different. Usually it's the man. I don't know. I haven't done the research, but I'm sure she has done the research. But Yasmin ends up asking for the divorce because it was just too much going on. I also like the fact that the characters weren't perfect. Josiah didn't make perfect choices and the things that he did in the marriage that led up to the divorce. And Yasmin, she wasn't perfect either. She was real. She was depressed. So having said that, I didn't really get into the book until, or I should say the meat and potatoes of the book, until like after page 100. I was kind of struggling, not to say it was boring. It was interesting. Yasmin does have 2 best friends, and, it was more about, the friendships and things like that, like telling the storyline or setting the backdrop, of maybe, their relationship before getting into the meat and potatoes. But, it kind of dragged a little bit. So it did take after a page 100 for me to really start, liking the book. Not that I hated that part, but just for me, I like page turners, y'all. Okay, let me just cut to the chase. I like page turners, and I didn't find that this was a page turner for me. I like all the things about the book, but I didn't like that about the book, that it dragged in the first part of the book up until page like 130, I believe. And then, not to say I didn't believe in Josiah and Yasmin's love, but it seemed too lusty. I felt like the lust overtook, like, me as a reader really believing in their romance, because they focus a lot on the sex, okay? And Miss Kennedy Ryan can write some sex scenes. Now, I want to say this is just a personal choice. It probably was just a little bit too strong, like detailed for me, girl. I felt like I was, again, reading porno. I don't think I like that in a book, like in your face, But it was real though, right? It was real. Let's be clear. It was all the stuff they were getting into was real, and probably something that I won't say it, okay? It was making realistic decisions, thinking that it was going to be okay just to have benefits, right, and nothing else, when the love never disappeared, right? I felt like they were just playing games. But anyway, it wasn't a bad book at all. It wasn't bad, but it definitely was not like a favorite. It wasn't a page turner for me. And I gave this book a 3.25. And so, yeah. But I do have several books from her, and I will continue to read those books as I am in the mood for them. But as of lately, I'm not in the mood for any romance now because of what I'm going through. And I do want to say, because the tone of this book can be a little heavy and emotional, being that there's a lot of emotional ups and downs with the couple. If you are going through something, I don't think it would be good for you to read this book, because it's not a happy love story. Not really. You know what I mean? Okay, so that is that. All right, so the next book that I finished is Coffee Will Make You Black by April Sinclair. And so I talked a little bit about this book already. This is a 90s author, and that is what I really am in the mood for right now. I wanted to read something uplifting, something that would be funny and make me laugh, right? So this follows Jean Stevie Stevenson. Her name is Jean, but everybody calls her Stevie. She is a 11-year-old when we meet her in the story. This is set in the backdrop of the civil rights movement, black family. If you are my age, I'm like in my mid to later 40s. If you have parents like who grew up in the 60s, 70s, you definitely will be able to relate to this book, because it mentions a lot of slang that we used to use in the 80s and 90s, right? And also the parents. Jean's mom was very strict, okay? And I feel like back then, black parents were very strict on their children as far as education, right? Wanting them to stay out of the streets. We want that now, but it was definitely more pressing back then, being that, you know, discrimination was at its all-time high, you know, white fountains, black fountains, white bathrooms, things like that. They really stressed the importance of like an education. So her mom was very strict on her, right? And you see the dynamics of a black mom and black little girl relationship and the black family structure. I really like that. Also, Black Power was talked a lot about in this book, because again, civil rights movement. We heard of some real like figures that were killed. What else? So you literally follow her, Stevie, as an 11, 12-year-old up to 16 years old, and you just get to know her. It's a lot of character development in this. It was very nostalgic, you know, especially when Stevie would talk to her friends, right? We all had that. Well, I keep saying we all. We may not have had the same relationship, but the dynamics, like in middle school, high school, the popular girl, not popular girl wanted to fit in, right? Stevie always wanted to fit in with the popular girl, so she goes through that too, and all of that. It was just very, very nostalgic. Her growing up as adolescents, her coming into like womanhood, you know, how babies are made, periods, kissing boys, things like that. She would talk to her friends about, and this book had me laughing out loud in a lot of scenes. It's so good. It's so good. So I did not know that this book is part of a series. Now, unfortunately, April Sinclair stopped writing. I'm not sure why she stopped writing, because this book is phenomenal. This is classified as a YA, and I really don't read YAs, not really, but this was so much fun. This was so much fun. I bought the next two books in the series. And so what I'm going to do is just read a random passage and tell you why I tabbed it, because I did tab this because it was just had so many like phrases, even phrases that we thought is new now. They were using it back in the 60s or the 90s. It was written in the 90s, but it's based on the 60s. Lean forward, baby, so I can get your kitchen. I highlighted that because in the 90s, probably in the 80s, because the kitchen, are those is the back right here, the nape of the neck, right? If you are black and grew up with straightening combs and stuff like that, like I did, you know what the kitchen is. So I thought that was funny. There's a lot of passages in this book like this. So I gave this a 5-star. Really, really, really enjoyed this book. It was a page turner to me. It was a page turner. Very interesting. Never a dull moment in that book. All right, so I'm going to now show you 3 books that I bought from Ollie's. So I did do a Ollie's bookstore, another one, but unfortunately, because my storage is low or whatever, I don't have enough storage. I have 2 videos stuck in my queue that I can't upload. So that is why I'm doing this video right here on my laptop, just to have a video out, because normally I post on Wednesdays. And so I was like, you know what? I've got a laptop. It'll just have to be what it is. So I'm going to show you the 2 books from that Ollie's that I got. And I am going to do like a cumulative book haul. It will be my last one, okay, because I really have got to stop now, okay, because I just had to drop thousands of dollars on an HVAC system, okay? And so your girl can't be spending no more money on books. I gotta get my money back up, okay? Get my money back up. All right, so the book that I got from Ollie's is called Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo. Because this video may be a little long, it's already 19 minutes right now, I'm not going to go into the scenario. But I will say it's a multi-generational story. I read one book by her years and years ago, and I remember I enjoyed it, and the synopsis does sound interesting. And then I picked up The Sweetness of Water by Nathan Harris. This is his debut novel, and this one, well, I will read this one. So it says, a profound debut about the unlikely bond between 2 freedmen who are brothers and the Georgia farmer whose alliance will alter their lives and his forever. So that sounds really good. I remember loosely seeing that somewhere. And then I got a coloring book, y'all. Yeah, I got a coloring book. Now, those books were $4.99, really cheap. And then I saw this coloring book. This one was only $1.29. It's a African coloring book, and the images are so pretty. Yeah, your girl got a coloring book at my big age. So I will be getting into that. All right, and so I'm going to show you now a book that I picked up at the library. I picked that up on yesterday. So it's called The School for Good Mothers by Jessamine Chan. You can't really tell how beautiful this book is because of my bad quality, but this is a beautiful book. I love the colors and like the foiling of the title here. But anyway, so I started this one on audio, and y'all, I was getting into it when Libby snatched it up, right? And so I ran to the library because they had this one available at the library, and I picked this one up. So this one, I am a good chunk away, into this book. This one is about, I think her name is Frida. Her name is Frida Liu. She's an Asian woman in her early 30s, newly divorced. She ends up making a really bad decision, right, that will alter her life. She's got I don't know how old the girl is. So she has a child, a little girl. One day she decides to leave her child at home. She intended for a short minute to do something. And I feel like we've all kind of been in that situation before. I don't know, tell me. But when she came back, guess what? Her child was gone. And now, yeah, she's being punished for it. And so this really mimics what's going on in today's society. This is a contemporary, I can classify this as a contemporary literary fiction. It mimics what's going on now as far as surveillance state, right? Her child was taken, right? Now she's under scrutiny by the government. The agency is now in her business, right? Privacy. You don't have any privacy. There's no privacy going on. Just like, what's going on here. A few minutes ago, I actually recorded this video before and I didn't like it. Okay, so I deleted it. And doing that video, Siri called out, and I was like, "See, she's listening. She's listening." So exactly what I'm talking about. Nobody said anything about my dad. But anyway, so it is about how the government or these agencies are inserting themselves in people's business, and using that against them to kind of control them, right? So really good book so far. I cannot see. Shut up. Really good. I can't wait to get back into this when I get a chance. I have not picked it back up yet, but I will. Okay, and so let's get into the book that I'm currently reading. So I finally got to the Titanic Sisters, and this was a very anticipated read for me. As soon as I saw this in the thrift store and read the back, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be a book that I am going to eat up because I love period pieces. So it's by Patricia Falvey, first and new author to me. And based on what I've read so far, this book is giving off 4-star energy. It's so good so far. So this is about two sisters who board the Titanic, which we all know what happened to the Titanic, right? It goes down. And so leading up to that follows Nora and Delia. They have two different types of relationship with the mother and also the father. And they don't really get along, right? Nora is she's the oldest, but she is the favorite. She's the favorite of the mother. And Delia, she gets the breadcrumbs, right? The mother has a lot of built up resentment towards Delia because of something that happens at childbirth. I won't go into what that was, but she grows up unloved by the mother, and it's like so heartbreaking to hear that. Now, all of this that I'm telling you is on the back of the book, so I'm not spoiling anything, right? This is just the premise of the book. And so they get an opportunity. Well, actually, I'll leave that out. The oldest daughter gets, well, yeah, it says it on the back. They both get a chance to go over to America because they're from Ireland, right? They live in Ireland. They get a chance to go to the brand new world, which is America, New York, in the 20s. This happens in the 20s, so right in that Gilded Age period. Delia, she is slated to be the governess. And the governess is the highest servant, right, who gets a lot of respect, right, in the household. She's like the head. And Delia, she gets or ends up getting a job as a lowly maid, they call it, just a regular servant, a maid in a different, totally different household. So they board the Titanic, and something happens where Delia is put in a position to take Nora's place. Okay, let's just say that. So, yeah. It's good, y'all. It's really, really good. I'm really, really enjoying the book. The first couple of chapters leading up to the tragic event of the Titanic going down, the chapters are really short. But as I kind of looked at, the book, the chapters are getting a little longer. Not a lot, but so far it is giving off page turner energy. Okay, so I think that is it. So I did read a couple other books. I'm in the middle of The Wife Between Us. I'll put it, well, I don't have any editing software, or I'm just learning how to use it, so I might not put it on the screen. But I'm listening to it by audio, and it's really, really good. Stay tuned. I don't know when I'll make the video, to be honest with you. I don't know. But I'm reading that, and I'm really enjoying it. And then I did finish Too Old for This, y'all. That was a 5-star book. 5 stars. I really did enjoy that book. Really did. It was entertaining from page 1 to the end of the book. And I listened to that. I really enjoy listening to thrillers on audio. I do. But the last book that I want to talk about is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. So I showed this book in a recent haul video. This is about a man who mastered his mind and defied the odds. Okay, so I've got to get into my back into my nonfiction bag because my first love is nonfiction. I'm just getting into memoirs. I really love learning about someone's life. And so this one follows David Goggins. He grew up in poverty, prejudice, and physical abuse, colored his days and haunted his nights. Those things did. But through all of this self discipline, he ended up joining the Naval SEALs. He reached so many milestones. He was an Army Ranger, an Air Force tactical air controller. He went from like 400 pounds to what you see here on the cover. He was just doing all the things. And so the reason why I want to read this one is because of this journey, this fitness journey I'm on. It's a struggle some days. Well, I really haven't had too many like struggle days, but today was a real struggle bus day. I did not want to go work with my personal trainer because this was day number 2. And I had to do 2 training sessions back to back because I missed last week because I was traveling. So I was really worn out, y'all. I really was with work, traveling. I was like, oh God, I just don't feel like doing another day. But I pushed myself and I went in there and I had to be real with my trainer. And you know what? This is the time that you do need to go in because this is when change happens. When you don't feel like working out, when you don't feel like working, that's when change happens. But also, I know that I've been doing too much, and that can also be bad. Like as far as your training is concerned, I know that that can end up you can end up losing weight if you're overtraining. Not losing weight. Well, gaining weight. I meant to say gaining weight because of all the stress that you're putting on your body. So there has to be a balance, and I have been going hard. Okay, I'm one of those type of people. When I make up my mind to do something, I go big. That's just me. I go big and I go all the way, and I've been going full force like for 3 months now. This is like the 3rd month into this, and I've been going full force, working sometimes out 2 times a day, and yeah, doing the most. I need to slow down, slow my roll because I can end up um, sabotaging my own fitness journey. Yeah, but anyway, today was a day, and so I want to read this book to give me inspiration to keep on moving because I this is the point where most people probably would quit because the results aren't. I see results, but they're not coming. As much as I'm putting into it, I want to see the gains come. Now I've got some gains, but they're not coming in like I want them to. And I can't lie, I'm like, I question myself, why am I doing this? But I do have a why, and so I'm continuing to move. And so I thought I would go ahead and read this one next, okay? Because I need to read something like this to give me some inspiration. Y'all, that is it. I think that's all I really have to talk about for right now. I am going to be doing a book haul, like I said, and it will be, like I said, the last one for a while because honestly, I got to be honest with myself. I've been buying books, spending money to comfort my soul, right? Comfort me. But right now, I gotta put it into it because, yeah, I got to. I got other responsibilities. But thank you so much for watching. I hope the quality wasn't too bad. That video, the haul, will probably be posted next Wednesday. Let me know how this video was. Leave all your feedback down below. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you guys. I don't know when, but I am coming back. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.